Check it out, guys. I have the Qlife Spark e-bike, and you can get this e-bike on Amazon for under $500. Well, there is a caveat though. For under $500, I believe it's only the black color, but every other color is like $749. However, what you're looking at here is the dual battery version. First things first, let's go ahead and talk about some of the features. As you can see here, just like all these other inexpensive e-bikes on Amazon, this one's got a hub motor in the back. And the hub motor is 1500 watts peak. And I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's about 750 watts to start with. That's just an assumption. They don't put it on their website, so I'm just going to go ahead and assume it's 750. But the peak is about 1500. Nonetheless, I only have about a mile or two on this bike. This is actually my first real ride of this bike, so we're going to talk a lot about that stuff once we're on the road. As far as the speed, it goes all the way up to 28 miles an hour. They say 28 plus on their website, so we're going to see if we can ride this faster than 28 or if it'll hover around 28 miles an hour. We'll see about that. As far as the range, they say that this single 13 amp hour battery will take the bike all the way up to 65 miles on a single charge. I don't really think it'll do that. I think it'll do that maybe if you run it on pedal assist number 1 and you're, I don't know, going to ride under 10 miles an hour and you have no hills. Sure, it'll do that. But realistically speaking, for one battery pack, riding it like a normal person would, you should probably get anywhere between 17 to 20 miles out of this thing, especially if you have hills like I do here in San Diego. But with the dual battery pack, for a bike like this, I've gotten probably about close to 45 miles on a dual battery. So that's being realistic with you guys. They say on their website as well as on Amazon that this is fully UL certified. So the certification is UL 2849 and it's an IP54 waterproof design. So if you're gonna ride this bike in the rain, all good. Got a waterproof design, got no worries. They also say that the front forks are adjustable, but I really can't tell where you adjust them, to be honest with you. I just, usually the adjustability portion is like right here, but I don't know if it's just marketing that they're using, but it's impossible to turn this. Like, how do you even adjust the front forks? At least that's what they say on their site. They say it's adjustable, but it doesn't look like it, and there's no way to do it. Anyway, the rear shock is adjustable, so it's got adjustability right over here. You just turn this with some kind of wrench, and then the back can be adjusted depending on your weight and how comfortable or uncomfortable you want it. Besides that, a super bright LED in the front, as you can see here. Yeah, that's very bright even during the day. And then you also have a rear light that's integrated, so as soon as you hit the brakes, the lights turn brighter, which is super awesome. And then I think one of my favorite things out of this entire bike, not only is it just the styling, because look at this thing. It looks like a freaking moped, man. It's super cool looking. But the seat, look at the seat. It's big, it's wide, it's pretty long. That sounded very weird. But yeah, this is a cool ass seat, man. And it's got a lot of cushion. So on long rides, that looks super comfortable. But overall, this design is like super kick-ass, and it's very unique. Yeah, there are a lot of mopeds out there, but as far as this design is concerned, it definitely takes the cake. And then of course, this is extra. It doesn't come with it, but you can get this on their website as an addition. And I believe they sell this for about $95, but essentially, like, someone could sit back here if they wanted to, and then check this out. Towards the end over here, towards the end of the bike, they also have like little holes with this bracket here, and I believe this is good for like putting foot pegs for a rear passenger. If they want to sit here or maybe back here, they can put their feet here, or in case you put like little extenders or whatever it is that you guys can purchase on Amazon or somewhere. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I like the design of this bike overall. I will say that this bike is the wheelbase is on the shorter side, so it is a bike for smaller people. So if you're a teenager or someone like me, I'm not that tall, I'm about 5'5", Yeah, this bike is perfect. The handlebars can be extended forward, so this way it'll give you more farther reach. But as far as the seating position, like, I'm literally all the way at the back. And I gotta say, this is super comfortable, man. For someone like me, I think this is built for my body style and my height. But if you're like someone over 6 foot tall, it might be a little bit cramped for you. Just saying. So if you got somewhere to test ride this bike or just look at it in person, probably your best bet. But man, for the price and for what they offer and the quality, as far as I can tell, sensational. And then one other thing I noticed about this bike is that the fenders, the front and the rear fenders, they're metal as opposed to plastic. Like, every other company offers plastic fenders, and I'm noticing that these are metal, and I like that a lot. I mean, it just shows that the quality is really great. So we're in PAS number 5 right now, and I'm only using the throttle, which is built into the handlebar. So it's got a twist throttle, which is pretty cool, and the acceleration is like really, really good. Off the line, you're not gonna like skid the rear tire or anything like that, so it doesn't have that much power. But off the line, you'll get off pretty quickly, especially if you're at a red light, there's cars behind you. Absolutely no problem. And I just discovered something. This thing has cruise control. Check it out. I'm pinned to 28 miles an hour, and cruise control kicked in. So I believe I read in the manual that if you hold it in a single position, if you hold it in the same position for more than 5 seconds, the cruise control kicks in. So that's pretty cool. Not a lot of these bikes have cruise control, and that's really, really appreciated, especially on long rides where, you know, you've been hanging out all day with your buddies and now you just want to take a break. Putting on cruise control, welcome relief. Let's go ahead and hook it right over here. Riding on public roads like the way I am right now, I don't feel like I'm too slow for the cars. Yeah, I'm not exactly 28 miles an hour right now because I'm also pedaling. I'm not using the throttle mechanism only, but if I were, this thing could go all the way up to 28 miles an hour, keeping up with all the other cars. But I kind of want to try out the pedaling and see what that's about, and also give you my take on it and my opinion and what I think, and maybe I don't like something about it that I can report. But right off the bat, you know, just pedaling for the last, I would say, 2 to 3 minutes. After about, I would say, 12 to 15 miles an hour, pedaling does nothing. That's pretty common amongst these bikes, you know. Like right now, it's 21 miles an hour. Pedaling does nothing. So yeah, that's called dead pedaling. So it does have dead pedaling. But if you do pedal, the pedal assist, even if you're not using the throttle, which is built into the handlebar, the pedal assist is pretty much used as a throttle as well. All right, off the line, let's see, 4, 7, 10, 12, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. Whoa! Okay, I got all the way up to 27 miles an hour. I got to keep my eyes on the road now. And if I don't keep my eyes on the road, this video is going to become viral. And I don't want that to happen. Well, I do and I don't, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah. Okay, so pretty fun bike to ride. And it's pretty gnarly looking at the same time. I'll tell you that right now. For this kind of bike, probably a year or two ago, this was going anywhere between $800 to $1,200, maybe even $1,500. You guys remember a time where the market wasn't as saturated as it is now? That's what I was talking about. These kind of bikes were not available that much, and so the prices were a lot higher. But now the market is pretty much flooded, and that's good news for us because we get to purchase bikes like this that are awesome looking and perform really well at a relatively bargain basement price. And I'm actually very, very shocked about that, because at the current moment tariffs are kicking in and everything out of China is about, I would say, 50 to 70% more expensive to import into the United States. How do I know this? Well, number one, it's public news. Number two, I also import from China. I have a business of my own, so I know about what's going on, and these things aren't cheap. So this just goes to show how inexpensive these are in China to make and then import into the United States. Because if you really think about it, if this thing is selling under 500 bucks, Amazon is taking a third of that, right? And then you got tariffs and import fees, and then the cost of shipment. How much does it really cost for a bike like this out of China? 100 bucks? 125, 150 at most? You know, like, seriously, it doesn't really cost that much in China to make these bikes, which is crazy. But anyway, imagine something like this was built in the United States. It would be in the thousands. Oh yeah, and it has a honk. For better or for worse. It's not the best, but I'm happy that it has it, because it's good for pedestrians, but I'm not exactly sure if cars will be able to hear me. One thing I wish it had, but it doesn't, are turn signals. I wish it had turn signals, but that's okay. I'm sure you can get some turn signals on AliExpress. Not really a deal breaker, if I'm being honest here. As long as it has lights, front and rear, as long as it has a honk, good for pedestrians so they can watch out, and so this way they can get out of your way. Turn signals, it's something that's optional. So, but if it had it, man, that would be such a bargain. So, as far as comfort is concerned, let's go ahead and talk about that. As you know, it's got a front and rear suspension. The front and rear suspension work absolutely amazing, guys. Really, really, really nice. Where I am right now, as you can see, lots of bumps, potholes, things like that. When I was riding from wherever I was down there to where I am now, you didn't hear my voice going in and out. You didn't hear me complain or anything like that. But yeah, whenever it's smooth, the bike is very, very smooth. Whenever it's not smooth, the bike is still got a smooth ride. Let's go ahead and over these bumps on purpose. There we go. When I opened up the box and I went through everything, the bike was pretty simple to put together. You know, after you've put together a couple of these bikes, it becomes pretty simple. It came pretty much 90% assembled. All I had to do was put together the front tire, as well as the handlebar, and bolt on the electronics, this thing, to the handlebar. And a couple of other things here and there, which really didn't take too much time. So from start to finish, it probably took me about an hour. At tops, I think an hour and 20 minutes, just to make sure, you know, I got everything tightened up. A couple of things did come loose, and I had to tighten them separately. This was this little bolt right over here. I had to Allen wrench this thing tight. And I think one or two other things I had to put together, and then I think it was like one other thing that I had to bolt on really tight. But besides that, it was easy peasy, no problems at all. Tire pressures came about 5 psi. I put an additional 15 psi, so right now I'm running 20. On the side profile, it says anywhere up to 30 psi. But if I added 30 psi, the tires would become very, very stiff. So I preferred a little bit more comfort, and I went with the in-between option, so I set them at 20. But if you have this bike or something similar with 20-inch tires, let me know down in the description below what tire pressures you normally use. I prefer to use anywhere between 20 to 25 on these e-bikes. That's the comforts, depending on how stiff the suspension is. So that's just my preference. Let me know what yours is down below in the comments. So right now we're going up a slight hill, doing 24 miles an hour, fully pinned. But we're going to be going down a hill and then up one of the most steepest hills in all of San Diego. And I'll let you guys know how it does. All right, so this isn't exactly the hill, but we're going to get there. And I like to do this on more high performance bikes than on anything else. This one claims 1500 watts of peak power. We're going to put that to the test. And at the current moment, we are using both battery packs. So you have the option of using one or both. Gotta say what's up to the bikers, man. Biker life, baby. I got a full face helmet on, and those kids were like 15, 16 years old, so they probably think I'm one of them. They have no idea that I'm an old dude. But yeah, this bike is like so gnarly for your young kid, man. Oh, if I was a teenager and I had this bike, bro, I would not stop riding this bike ever. Took that bump like a champ. Here's another bump. I'm not going to stop. 22 miles an hour. Let's see. Oh yeah, took it like a champ. The suspension does a great job, guys. As I said before, we're going to take this full speed. Let's go. I'm going to see if I can overtake this car. Yeah, you just got overtaken by an e-bike, my man. So this is the hill I was talking about, guys. Check out how steep this thing is. I forgot to talk about the brakes. Let's go ahead and talk about that. They aren't hydraulic. They're just standard brakes, but being standard does not necessarily mean that they don't function properly. Because right now I'm in one of the steepest hills in all of San Diego, and this thing's got a lot of stopping power. And if I really step on the brakes, this thing will skid the back tires for sure. Alright, let's go down this one as well, and then we'll go up both of them at the same time on our way back up. Now we're going to go back up these hills, and we're going to see what's what. For this test, I'm not going to use pedal assist. We're going to use pure power. So up this first hill, it did up to 18 miles an hour, but the real test is up there. We're doing a cool, comfortable 15 miles an hour right now. See, I'm not pedaling, just using pure power. 14 miles an hour, pure power. 15 miles an hour, just pure power. So it cycles in between 14 and 15. I think my screen is flickering. You guys won't be able to see it, unfortunately. Hopefully my screen is not flickering on the GoPro. But if it is, I apologize. I'll go ahead and verbalize everything. So, as you can see, not pedaling. We're going up the steepest hill in all of San Diego, doing 14 miles an hour. Now we're back to 13 miles an hour. 12 miles an hour. Staying steady at 12. Now it's down to 11 miles an hour. Now I just want to let you know that this bike weighs in excess of 90 pounds and I'm about 140. But this is a steep hill. Under normal conditions, for most bikes that I've tested out, speeds vary anywhere between 10 miles an hour all the way up to 15, 16 miles an hour. So although this one says it has 1500 watts peak power, I thought it was going to do a little bit better than 11 miles an hour. I thought it was going to be somewhere close to about 14, 15 miles an hour. But it only managed to do about 11 miles an hour during the steepest areas. But to be honest with you guys, I mean, it's not a deal breaker and I'm not going to fault it. It is what it is. It's a rather heavier bike than normal. I don't think this bike is aluminum. I think it's all steel, and that's why it's super heavy. The components are pretty heavy as well, so I think it did a fairly good job, and I'm really impressed with the ride quality, the suspension, how cool this bike looks, how fast it accelerates, and I think the price is just on point, because look at this thing. My version, unfortunately I couldn't find a price for my version because mine's got 2 batteries, so I'm gonna assume that it's an additional 200 on top of whatever they're charging. So if it's $749 for, let's just say, the blue color, right, add an additional $200, so it's like close to $1,000 for the dual battery version. But yeah, guys, seriously, I can't find fault with this bike. Really can't find any faults. I like it, and you know, I'm not sensationalizing either, but seriously, if you're looking for a cool bike, this is it. Go check it out. I'll add a link to the description down below. And if you guys have any questions or comments, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.